ladies and gentlemen, we're here for game number 2. But first, some highlights from game number 1. SKT eventually were able to take this one, but it was a long and tumultuous road. It was not super easy for them. Once it hit around 30 minutes and, you know, multiple times bullying Nuguri throughout the entire game. 7, I think 8 deaths maybe. He was just bullied, and eventually they found the win.
And when they continue to play around Khan's Urgot, things really turn to gold. And we're seeing SKT play around the Urgot pretty damn extensively. This was the big outplay as he got the flash in. I think the QSS timing was off from Nuclear. Looked like they got no value out of that. Don't know what ability he was QSSing, but it didn't come good. But Nuguri in the Death Chamber again and again, this time by Ezreal, who does plenty of damage going for the double tier build. Faker had his moments, both good and bad, in this particular game, but to me, Khan was the consistent performer, and Clid has probably been the most reliable player on the side of SKT. He or Teddy.
Lee Sin is so clean.
Exactly.
So
Teddy and Clid, you know, these players have come in and both been pretty damn consistent in 5 games, 5 victories, showing a few different picks. Urgot, Lissandra, every day. All-you-can-eat buffet of Urgot and Lissandra. When does it end? When does the manager come in and say, you've eaten enough, try something else?
Yeah, well, they are going to be on the blue side, so it opens up questions. Will they just go ahead and ban the both of them? Or will they look to first pick one like SKT did on the blue side in game number 1, first picking the Lissandra? I was really surprised that given this Lissandra-Urgot duo that we've been seeing every game from SKT, that Lissandra was first picked, and then DAMWON didn't even pick Urgot in the first round of picks. So not really on point with that, I suppose. We'll have to see what their strategy is going into game number 2, pick and ban. If they will be on the blue side, it's not guaranteed, of course, depending on what the teams do pick. And I'm just excited to get into another game. SKT looking clean once again. DAMWON struggling to keep up.
And pick and ban is definitely something that I want to see adjusted from DAMWON, because I certainly kind of lost a bit of hype when I saw the team comp they had, knowing that if they fall behind, it all kind of falls into place. Like, this game went from a pretty even draft in the best case scenario to like 80-20, 90-10 very fast, because DAMWON couldn't get their damage dealers going in a meaningful way. Pick and ban, and I'm sure the legions of fans out there are hoping they see something new from this man in the mid lane. Lissandra not quite as razor sharp. Feels like he's getting a little bit rusty over using it so often compared to his first game where he's popping off in that first series now about a week ago. Showmaker, where's the Katarina at, mate? Is the question I will ask. And Teddy, well, he's Lucian Ezreal only.
Does he need anything else?
No.
There's no way you can get to those bans even this time around. I mean, you have to do something about Lissandra-Urgot, I'd say. And, I mean, it's Teddy. We've seen him play so many different picks and do so well on them on a team that was not nearly as good as this one. So we'll have to wait and see if he is put into that position, what he will go with. Will it be that Sivir, the Fountain Laser? Maybe he'll go into KeSPA. I'm sure he's got the skills to play pretty much anything.
We've learned not to query Teddy, and we're getting closer and closer with if he can have performances like he did yesterday. Those ex-Jinair starlets that are now growing up on other big teams. A Telecom war team for each. And Nuguri on your screen, he can't really have a less fun game than he did in game number 1.
So mad.
He doesn't look mad to me. To me, it's a bit of a dejected look, because he didn't really have much to smile about. He went for the zombie push build, and it worked when they got the Baron right, but instantly a Rakan engage later got scuffed, and the team comp was done from there. A lot of fans here stuck around. Thank you, everyone.
This fan says, even like after that, you're not going to ban Lissandra and Urgot. She's like calling out DAMWON. She's like, please ban them at the bottom.
Who's that supposed to be?
Just says DAMWON fighting.
Oh, it's the raccoon. It's a meme involving Nuguri.
Nuguri, yeah. Nuguri in Korean, Nuguri is raccoon.
Can you read this one? I can't read this one. It's in Korean.
I just see Koma at the bottom in black. All the players in blue. And their team name was 19 SKT T1.
The players are in black, very clearly. Colors are not that hard to read.
This is DAMWON.
They're also in black.
Oh, yeah, true.
Thanks, Valdez.
You know, the high-level, high-tier analysis.
Koma no longer is the drafting coach. He was kind of phased out for Homer and Bengi in summer season. Now they've got Zephyr. Zephyr and Kim Jung-soo are the two coaches here. We roll into game number 2, and the question on everyone's lips. A question on everyone's lips. Do SKT stick with the same solo lanes for the 6th time? The Baker's Dozen. It will be this time for the Lissandra and Urgot duo.
I think a Baker's Dozen is 13, but I get your point. And,
just run with it.
Yeah, okay. It makes sense. Will they be allowed to take that is another question. I think bans on the red side can change a little bit, but generally you're going to see Cassiopeia 100% of the time. Lissandra finally banned.
Whoa!
There you go.
All right, Faker's done. What's he got left, Valdez? Name a Faker champion.
Sub in Gory. He doesn't know how to play anything else.
We jest, but I'd love to know what comes. Wait, we know it's Galio, so. Remember, Rise goes Aftershock sometimes now. Bet money on the table.
Oh, there you go. They're banned.
Money on the table. Will it be an Aftershock mid laner for Faker?
Rise Aftershock, first round.
That's probably the only one left. Sion.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily go Aftershock, though, so.
No.
Let's see what he finds. Faker, we'd love to see him on a style and carry. It will not be the Aurelia. This time is going to be blue side banned by DAMWON. We had mentioned that SKT had every time on the blue side had to ban away that pick. Lot left open here, not the Lucian like we mentioned. When it comes to first pick territory, the Camille priority been a lot lower in this match day in particular. Cassiopeia, the only 100% picked and banned champion. Final ban will be Akali, as Showmaker and Nagari have both been able to play this one. Is the Urgot taken away at first pick by DAMWON? No, the Aatrox has made its way through. And while this matchup is going increasingly Urgot favored, if we do see the Urgot return in Khan, the Aatrox could be in jungle. And man, did we see an Aatrox jungle play earlier today as Tarzan for Griffin gave whichever team faces this opponent something to think about.
The second he hovered Urgot, the entire crowd just groaned and laughed at the same time. Urgot is locked in, so Faker, kind of sad for him, he doesn't get to play his beloved Lissandra, but Khan will play Urgot and Klid will play Lee Sin. And an interesting stat is that both Urgot and Lee Sin are two of the most picked, yet not very often banned champions here at the KeSPA Cup.
I think DAMWON Gaming might just be going Zyra Khan on blue side here as it's left open and leave their solo laners for later. SKT have been, of course, taking Lissandra Urgot first round every time, but the Lissandra's gone, and that means some flexibility when it comes to picks here with Galio also banned. Is removed. They could modify their plan and give Mada something. The opportunity to pick for Faker's champion. So first round support could be considered here. See what SKT want to do on this regard. They're going to just go for the AD carry pool. They're feeling like it's narrowing quite quickly with Lucian banned and the Xayah taken away. I tend to think there's a lot of viable options, but seeing Teddy on Kai'Sa is going to be a change of pace, so they look over the Ezreal this time, Valdez, and just go away with the Kai'Sa.
I mean, Teddy's Ezreal was clean as well. Had a bunch of snipes and it was really high damage, of course, as it always is, but perhaps more comfortable playing the Kai'Sa into that bottom lane, the Xayah Rakan. We'll see what support does go in the duo down there as well.
Morgana, Tahm Kench could be considered as bans here if you're DAMWON, if you want to actually focus on the support role. That's going to go with the Alistar because it's smarter, right?
You know what's good against Katarina?
I mean, what was the thing I asked for the first time we saw DAMWON? In fact, before the tournament started, we were sitting there talking about KeSPA Cup, and I said, well, if you're blind picking your mid lane as DAMWON Gaming on blue side against Faker, wouldn't Katarina blind be a story? And that would be a story that Showmaker could take to his grave one way or the other. So let's see what happens. Given all of that, the Sion going to be banned away here as a potential top laner. Remember Aatrox three-way flex going on here. Any of the top roles, including jungle, is a possibility. They're going to go with Leona here rather than Morgana. Again, more of a Mada champion and also has been a popular one. But speaking of Mada champions, we're always waiting to see what skin it is. If it is the Thresh, the Shen would definitely be a lot less lane presence. This would be giving up a lot in the 2v2 to pull it off. How about a LeBlanc? Now that's one to get excited about.
There we go. Faker blind picking the LeBlanc. Could be the Aatrox, but probably not. And the question is, what is Showmaker going to do in response to this? They banned the Zoe. It's not going to be her.
Rise for an
be
old
Rise.
matchup. Could also be Aftershock Rise in mid lane potentially against LeBlanc if you wanted to go that way. We'll wait and see. Jungle Nocturne going to be taken here. Just dive onto KeSPA and potentially delete it. Now remember, she could take a trip elsewhere and ruin and stuff some of those engages.
Tom Kent's available.
Could be considered here. We were looking for support last pick on the side of SKT. So Mada ends up with the 5th pick on red side. And Nautilus against Thresh is a matchup you see frequently. It'd be a surprise to see it drafted here, where we're going to see Nautilus. Very interesting. Reason why I say it's a surprise is that obviously Xayah can lift off very easily against the Nautilus ultimate, which is usually ultra reliable. But the idea here is that they want to go for something to try to make Xayah or Rakan accountable. Not going to go for a Blitzcrank. They're not going to go for a Morgana. And that's, to me, the biggest surprise. The Morgana left open. Yes, a little bit left to center for Mada, but he's actually going for Nautilus into this matchup when I think we've exclusively, in competitive play, seen it against Thresh every time.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick for sure. It's very beefy, very tanky. It's great against those auto attackers, 80 damage that are trying to dive you. So maybe if the Aatrox and the Nocturne try to dive onto his KeSPA, he can kind of just stand there, ult one of them, get in the way, and potentially ruin a lot of that damage. And Teddy, we know how slippery he can be on different picks like Lucian and Ezreal, but the KeSPA too can be a slippery one. It is top 3, as we mentioned, for the 80 carry role. I'm excited to see if Teddy can pop off on another pick here in the KeSPA Cup.
And that's the thing, is we're seeing Faker, Teddy, and Mada mix things up. We're not going to be able to see Clit off the Lee Sin or Khan away from Urgot, but I think that's going to be a problem. It's going to dog so many teams. And when they're facing the dream team of SKT is, well, someone's getting comfort. There's only so many bans you can throw out. Let's see if they've made the right read here as we have Aatrox versus Urgot. We know that can go both ways. Increasingly Urgot favored recently, but Aatrox in that World's Gauntlet was such a monster, was Cuvée on the pick. Clids on Lee Sin, so always you have a bit of pause. But Faker's LeBlanc is back, and I think that's the thing that most people are going to focus on.
Every seat in the house taken up right now. We're ready to jump into Game 2. DAMWON Gaming up against SKT right now. Finally got our fan chants in order. They're no longer bugged. And traveling as a team here as DAMWON Gaming means a trade in wards and vision in enemy red side jungles for both teams.
Faker has not played LeBlanc for a while. Definitely his most famous pick. Famously undefeated in professional play before a Morgana mid lane and an EDG pre-match plan with the Maokai. That timeout undid him in the final game of MSI 2015. Long time ago. A lot of our viewers will be joining us after that tournament took place. Here he is back on the LeBlanc. If you're wondering what his career record is on LeBlanc, he is 18-4. It is still an above 80% win rate, but no games in 2018 on the LeBlanc. You definitely have to dive into the calendar, into the archives to remember Faker's LeBlanc. It's the first time he'll be playing it since it was reverted from the Gunblade LeBlanc versions that were there in past.
It's really interesting. I thought for sure that he would have played at least one game in 2018, but
he did today.
Okay, well, there you go. We're almost done with 2018 here, guys. It is December 27th in Korea, currently 9:51. And, well, nice little trade down the bottom side. Mada showing that he knows how to play Nautilus and many different hook champions. Excited to see that Nautilus in action as the game goes along, and if the genius of Mada here for League of Legends can come to life.
Did mention that you could take Aftershock Rise in the mid lane against the LeBlanc, and we see it taken here by Showmaker. It was out of the meta for a long time. It's been a really long time since Aftershock Rise. I believe the first I saw to do it was Maple, doing it a couple of years ago in the mid lane and being able to take some really nice trades with it. We're seeing it this time into the LeBlanc, and that part makes a bit of sense. We've seen this matchup through so many iterations of Rise and LeBlanc over the years that you kind of, even how many Fakers played, right? It feels like there's been so many different versions of LeBlanc and Rise rolling through. Both of them taking Ignite is definitely something new.
Look at Mada's timing to just roam in level 2, walk in and put a ward on the Krugs, just to get more information about exactly where Canyon could be right now.
Gives you a very long leash if you spot the Nocturne going to the other side of the map, because you already know that he's not going to be very impactful pre-6, and if he's not even around, then you're going to have a very long chase potential on picking up a kill. So, felt the ability to push out a lane. One thing you can say, we've already kind of spitballed about Nautilus and how it's usually only a pick into Thresh to try to all in and collapse with a superior hook. Can say that level 1, KeSPA walks up and cues the wave, Nautilus walks up and eases the wave. They actually have quite a lot of shove, especially in the early levels.
It's an interesting thought. So far, they're doing exactly that. That ward just got pinged, question mark ward, saying, hey, Nocturne hasn't shown up here, but now he's going to come in. So now they know exactly where he is. Trade down to the bottom side, and Mata's going to get knocked up with the Ignite. Nuclear going in here. They're using heal too, but going deep in the bottom side is DAMWON Gaming, and they trade it back. The flash there. Teddy not going to go for the flash in the end, and DAMWON Gaming's bottom lane take a kill.
Teddy saw no ability to follow flash and get out. Did not want to give 2 kill credits over to Xayah. Ends up going down there. We talked about Nautilus in the laning phase. He's not that strong. That's the reality when it comes to the Nautilus in the 2v2. Goes down there. We didn't see out the genesis of it. I assume he walked up to a poor trade. We're going to get the replay. Thank you very much for obliging. Let's see whose end it was on.
Level 3, level 2.
And this was the hook is down. There's no way out for the Nautilus. And going for the CC second there was the thing that really allowed DAMWON Gaming with so much aggressive intent. We've been querying Nuclear and Hoyt again and again. A 2v2 kill there is a big thumbs up to DAMWON Gaming's bot lane.
Certainly is. Looks like we... Okay! Showmaker just solo killed Faker in the mid lane, and we missed it. Sure, we're going to take a look at the replay because Showmaker totally out of mana, used both as summoners, but he gets the kill.
I'm going to withhold my judgment till we see the replay on that one. That is not usually... Has Faker died and been solo killed off screen ever? You wonder, as we watch the replay here. The bounce comes in, so Faker is there, and I assume Showmaker says thank you very much. There. And Ignite mid lane rise. His burst range, pretty good. He solo killed Faker and he was full health himself. That never happens.
I think it was just a little bit of disrespect there from Faker. You got to know the kill range, right? Especially with Ignite. Maybe he wasn't 100% sure that he had Ignite. Just stands there, not even behind the creeps, and just gets flashed on. Really simple, you know, when you look at it. Just gets caught by surprise, I suppose.
It's 16 months since Faker last played LeBlanc. It was August 26th, 2017 against Longzhu in the summer finals, which, of course, Longzhu went on to win, and SKT went down. It was a victory, confirming it was, of course, Gunblade LeBlanc at the time. Super famous champion for him, but a lot's changed in a year and a half, and that was definitely not the best look, even if his CS lead is still intact.
We'll see if he can come back from that. Not the best start, and a weird day for Faker, too. We saw his Lissandra going over the wall, and assuming it was one guy, but actually there were 3 people on a ward, and just getting killed by himself. And now this solo kill, not what we're expecting out of Faker.
But we should talk about the other side of the coin. We've been very Faker-focused on that. It was great capitalization by Showmaker, and that was what we expect from Showmaker. This guy has proven himself to make no bones about playing aggressively, playing for himself, looking for an outplay. Showmaker is someone, like his name suggests, that brings the eyes onto him and plays confidently at every moment. And solo killing Faker is a story he'd love to tell his mates when he's done with this game, win or lose.
Yeah, it actually happened. Congratulations. You almost want to say, you know, it's not something that everybody can say they've done. Cannon's been hanging around this bottom lane quite a lot, even stealing the Gromp there away from Klid in his jungle. Should hit 6 very soon. Actually gets it as I say that here on the Krugs. Where will he go from here?
Timing is about when you'd expect level 6 to be popped, around 7 minutes, so it's not a super turbo level 6. I think the earliest we ever saw was famously what I guess you would now call a jungle funnel game that was played by Levi at MSI last year, where it was like 4 minutes 45 level 6.
Yeah.
So 7 minutes. All lanes should be playing in respect to that. Remember, Faker didn't use a summoner in that death, so he still does have the ability to get away from a Nocturne gank. Nocturne himself looking to see which lane to impact. And all of the action in mid lane, should note, Aatrox and Urgot going CS for CS, so no side which side of this matchup is going to win this time out.
Cannon heading up towards the top side, but generally it's going to be hard to turret dive a
Nice Urgot.
Yeah, and there's also a ward. They're going for it, though. Not sure about this, as it looks like Canyon might just burn down. Noguri is getting in there. He's going to have that ultimate popped, and Khan, will he try for it? No, just wants to push it away, and well, we saw that dive not going well. Didn't really go all that great.
It's pretty ultra bold, because although his flash was down, he still had Ignite, which is such a good spell to disrupt a turret dive. Nocturne gets out, full reset, but the first use of the ultimate there, it's a bit more forgiving now. The cooldown is a bit shorter at level 1 than it was before, but it's wasted, and that means that Nautilus and KeSPA are probably the biggest benefactors, because they've had to play so respectful after the 2v2 death that came out. Suddenly Mada and Teddy can push up a little bit more.
Nuclear and Hoyt, though, getting very aggressive in there. Into the enemy jungle, takes out one of those defensive control wards. Just over the wall, Mada hits level 6. He's thinking about it, but not quite able to find an angle just yet.
All in onto Hoyt, not looking like it's the right call. If it was a different Rakan lane, he didn't have the really, really long battle dance range. I think maybe he could have considered something, but not going to be realistically pulled off as, man, Showmaker has a lot of mana going on there.
Wow. It's very blue. He's also wearing, by the way, we didn't mention this, but I saw Atlas mention it on Twitter, that he has worn the SKT T1 Rise skin twice in a row now.
What's the betting that a hotshot mid laner was inspired to play the game by Faker? It's almost always a rinse and repeat thing.
Well, now it's time to get revenge. They want Showmaker. Can they take him out? Yes, they will. Clid. I said it before. This guy is so clean on his Lee Sin.
You never need to clean Clid's Lee Sin. It is always pristine. Beautiful mechanics come through. You're going to watch the replay. He waits for his moment, and he says, I've got this one. And yes, he does. He always knows when it's time for the flash and when it's time to hold on to your abilities. We got to see some great treats yesterday. We might get to see some Lee Sin contested picks if we do have a Telecom War Grand Final.
Should be a fun one. We'll see if SKT can make it that far. Of course, we still have to make it through this best of 3, and looks like DAMWON Gaming don't want to go down without a fight. Fortunately for them, SKT did take back the gold lead after just cresting over 10 minutes now.
They'll be happy, though, that Faker didn't pick up the kill credit. He invested his Ignite and wasn't able to take down Rise in that particular play there, even though I'm sure that was the original intent coming through from Clid. Noguri having just the best laning phase in comparison to the previous game, pushing forward, harassing. But we know that Khan is not someone to be trifled with, and if the Nocturne ult is back up, he's got Exhaust this time to try to herald his life remaining for another few minutes in this laning phase.
He'll have a grand old time, and Hoyt here gonna sweep out that vision. Might even get another ward that is in the river here.
You can see how the kill was so important. When the back timings come in, the difference between a Stormrazor and most of a Stormrazor is priority. It's people backing away from trades they would otherwise take. It's a really big pickup actually for DAMWON to cement what was a good 2v2 laning phase there on the bot side. Faker trying to take vision elsewhere. They know they can't contest the scuttle that's been picked up, so Faker just moving around on the LeBlanc, trying to get as much control as possible. As the posturing is clear, what it's all leading to is what we're excited for.
Canyon thinking about another potential play in the mid lane. Okay, we weren't so sure about the top lane gank, but consider it's Urgot on the top side, LeBlanc in mid, and then Nautilus down in the bottom side. Not the easiest lanes to gank.
Even though this is warded, this is about as safe as possible because they have clear vision of the enemy duo. LeBlanc is the only one who can poke around, and walking past Aftershock Rise, not something to happen. Given the timer, though, you can be almost 100% certain if you're DAMWON Gaming that the Rift Herald has been started in mirror fashion, and I imagine it'll be completed pretty soon by Clid.
He's getting there. We'll see if he can get any checkpoints, any platings from the turrets. We've seen some teams miss the timing by just a little bit. Uh-oh. Faker in a little trouble, but he is on the LeBlanc. We'll see how he plays this one out as Canyon and Showmaker are trying to corral him.
Aatrox going to react first. Here is Aatrox.
Clid trying to get the safety, and in goes the vision, and Nocturne gets it to the back line. Khan in so much trouble, too. It's going to be feared by the Nocturne. Double kill goes to Jungle Nocturne.
That was an awesome play coming through from DAMWON. They needed the ultimate from the Rise to get the vision, like you noted, Valdez, and that's the only reason they can secure the kill. I imagine SKT were pushed up because they had control ward in that brush, but it falls away. It doesn't do its job. Watch the replay here. Clid takes just the most damage from a level 10, but the vision from the Rise into the gap close there, that is some poetry in motion, and that's the same sort of synergy from DAMWON Gaming that they'll need to find some meaningful leads over SKT.
Pretty awesome stuff to watch, and I feel like this KeSPA Cup has already offered so many highlight plays that we've seen so far, and not even just mechanical plays, but macro plays. You think about Genji in the match against, who was that the other day? King Zone. Just looking pristine so far. Lots of super strong teams with the new lineups. Really excited for next year.
We do have half an eye thinking about tomorrow's best of 5 that's already locked in.
Yeah.
Is it really going to be fun? KT versus Genji does feel like top side versus bot side in some ways, given how good Smeb and, of course, BDD looked in that series. And, well, Ruler has been on a tear and then some in this KeSPA Cup so far. But zooming in on today's match, Clid is back. And we know that he's got Splash Up soon, not quite now, but I don't even know if he needs it. This man knows how to conceptualize every scenario as Lee Sin.
Nuggery, though, seeing something and feeling something weird as, yes, there was a ninja in the bush this time. He's kind of back totally away, take a gromp, and continue his domination up on the top side. Wasn't able to pick up any kills just yet.
The reason why Nuclear was happy to take turret aggro is we're still in that same state. The shop for the Stormrazor was only now, and you want to maintain your Stormrazor lead for as long as possible. Fight can go back because he can greed for the Demolish proc and then get back with the shared recall passive that the Xayah has. We're packing up and going top lane, and we're bringing everyone with us, Valdez.
Everybody get in the van. We're making a push happen as the Rift Herald comes down, and the push will begin. And how will DAMWON respond to this? Immediately, everybody edging up towards the top side.
They're going to be spotted on the way. Important the control ward catches them here. If you don't have that deep control ward, the play is so much more risky because you need the advanced vision to really guarantee it being a good Rift Herald summon. They're not going to kill the turret just yet, but SKT want to fight.
Hoyt finds 2. They want to burst down Clid, but he's able to get to safety. Mana able to hook him up there. Canyon in a bit of safety, but now we have the stopwatches coming through, and Baker's doing that damage. 70 into the backline, and a huge kick by Clid is going to get so many people in trouble. Baker able to follow up on the backside, and there you have it. SKT able to win the fight.
SKT had the wards down, and DAMWON tried to skip some steps, and boy were they punished for making that play. Hoyt and Canyon get no value at the start. This is a huge engage, right? You get 2 different members here, but the follow-up after that, there's no value. Really good CC chain means Nocturne is golden and Hoyt's out of the fight early. Aatrox not there. Remember, that's 5 members of SKT. And by the time Aatrox got in, like you say, the kick has done some work. The Kai'Sa's done the rest, and that means that Aatrox just kind of watches and wastes his ultimate in horror as SKT get back into the game.
I'm quickly becoming a really big Clid fan as I cast more and more of his Lee Sin. Some awesome stuff, but definitely a fantastically fought fight as a team. That's a big one. It gets SKT back in the lead here in terms of gold. They're down a Cloud Drake, but even so, we'll see if they can hold on to this one, or if, you know, we've seen a lot of big rises in the past. Also the Nocturne getting off to a good start in this one. We'll see if Showmaker and Canyon can carry this one.
Item-wise, though, we're drawing back to parity after the first kill bot lane. We now basically have washed going on there. Aatrox working towards his Youmu's to start to guarantee the sweet spots on his next fight. That's probably the most meaningful item lead here, is actually at the top. 30 CS lead and a couple of assists means that Nogari looking pretty fearsome. Not sure if that's a shopping thing there, or the boots too, shorting a lot of the damage. Khan himself gonna just cycle the heal in that particular case as Nogari backs away. He knows LeBlanc is on the way. That rhymed, that was unintentional. And now DAMWON Gaming, they got the top lane turret, and they're also in position for the Mountain Drake.
All the objectives, just collecting them essentially right now. No real contest here from SKT, but now they're setting up for it. Hoyt is going to just hop away pretty easily. Canyon picks that one up, and now 4 members of SKT looking for an angle into the enemy jungle here.
Showmaker has gone for perhaps the greediest item build I've seen in a while here.
Weird.
Bit of everything, and he will eventually have Archangels and the Rod of Ages, and you might say, oh, Rod of Ages, tier, it's Rise. That's been cut from so many Rise builds for the better part of 6 months, 8 months. Basically, since the tier into 20% CDR item became an option, Rise has been mainlining into the Archangels for the earliest possible Seraphs. That does mean that he's not combat ready till 28 minutes, and 28 minutes is pretty damn late, both in 2018 meta and especially in this preview of the 2019 meta. But that's been the decision taken by Showmaker. He wants that, basically, that 30-minute mark. If he's side laning against Faker, he wants to have a lot of combat advantage. That's a very low health support, but Hoyt will live on literally a sliver of health.
Definitely a sliver there. Faker, not happy about that solo kill earlier on, is getting angry. Seeing a level 8 Rakan when you're level 12 and decently fed is also just a LeBlanc's dream.
Even if you've played for 19 minutes, you know as Hoyt, you tab and you're like, wait, do they have an Ezreal? Need to make sure when you're that low on health.
Yeah.
Is in fact Teddy on the KeSPA, so no further kills. Here is Nuguri, who's mainlined his 2 items here and is actually surprisingly powerful. 900 gold lead we're seeing. Showmaker, very, very defensive on the ultimate there. But I think he's seen enough introductions from Clid to know what to expect if ever the Lee Sin is threatened to be top.
Let's take a look at the gold totals for all of the members here on the map. It's actually very even between the Aatrox, LeBlanc, and Xayah. Everybody around, I think it was 7.8 thousand gold so far. So very even game in this one. You can see it even at the top. Just the Drakes. Definitely a big advantage over to the side of DAMWON. See if they can use that potentially to pick up some faster objectives, especially with the Mountain Drake.
And while they're different champions, it feels like we're kind of back to catch versus catch, right? When there's these 2 team comps, a lot of catch on both sides. Rakan and Nautilus do it differently, but their ultimate goal is the same. A lot of burst damage from DAMWON, but pure initiation, it's kind of Rakan only. Rakan goes really good or really bad. We've already seen Khan win games as recently as game number 1 with a big flash and ult. Speaking of ults.
Nuclear, did you go too far? The ultimate comes in from Canyon, and now Nautilus in a lot of trouble. So nice follow-up there from the side of DAMWON, able to pick up the kill on Tamada.
Time is after 20 as the Rise going to bounce his way to safety. Showmaker was out of position. DAMWON pushing up anyway.
Oh, Canyon, he's going in there. Was it a bait? Or was it actually a good play? Now Nuclear in a great place. And here comes Nuguri trying to get the back line. There's the flash. Is able to pick him up. Faker does get the Xayah. And here comes Teddy, but he misses it. And now he's going to get flashed on. Looks like he gets away. And here's Faker trying to get on top of Canyon. But the spell shield just barely going to save him.
Faker pokes in for half a second twice and gets 2 kills to add to what felt like it was going to be a wipe on the side of SKT. SKT too far forward when Teddy was out of position. The Nautilus is dead, so they don't have any guaranteed CC coming through to open up the killer instinct, which you'll notice is still available. That's the reason why Showmaker had his wits around him there for a half second. Let's watch the replay and understand this one. KeSPA clearing in mid, Xayah there as well. The bro status here of interrupting the ultimate means that neither Canyon nor Hoyt opens up, and when you see Nuguri coming in, you think this is just going to be all she wrote. But Faker pokes in, gets 1 kill. KeSPA so far on the outside here can literally do nothing. Didn't have the same path into the fight that Xayah did earlier. But Faker gets another one. That is quintessential LeBlanc play, and overall it ends up being pretty even between the 2.
LeBlanc and Ninja in her own right, sneaking in there. Nuclear feel like he had no idea. Felt like he had no idea that was even possible. So really taken off guard there was Nuclear, but still an interesting place in this game. You can see just how scary Nuguri is when he doesn't get camped for the entire game.
He's probably working towards, I would imagine, it's going to be the Death Stance as the 3rd item here. So powerful after all the tweaks to it recently. Remember, this is all happening while Rise is doing his stacking thing, and I wonder if we'll see 28 minutes of Rod of Ages 10 stack and Seraphs for that super ultra tanky Rise that can even take a Nautilus ultimate and some Focus Fire, and with Aftershock scaling so well with flat health and also the big shield. Remember, resists and that temporary health from a shield have always synergized well. That's why Abyssal Scepter was always so good on someone like Arise way back when. There's the Ceres. We know the Rod of Ages is coming later. You're going to really have to adjust expectations because you probably haven't scrimmed against a Rod of Ages Rise in a while if you're SKT.
Yeah. No, agree. Picking up the second Cloud Drake actually makes him ultra scary. Oh, what a hook there! But it is Rakan after all. Clid thinking about it, but not able to land his skills. But yeah, second Cloud Drake over to Nuguri on the Aatrox. We saw how fast he engaged after popping his ultimate in the last fight. How about some more speed? It looks like Khan is actually going to take a nice little starting trade off here. There comes the ultimate, but Canyon is nearby. Faker looming in the wings, but not quite able to make the play come to life.
Needed an overchase from both sides to actually get a damage range from an ally. Speaking of allies, 3 members of DAMWON with Mada's ultimate on cooldown do push up.
Mada doesn't have his ultimate this time around, so going to be much harder to lock down Nuclear and Hoyt. Perhaps he could try to get on top of Showmaker, but then again, it is the Rise.
Late game fights here are going to be really, really even. I don't think we'll see true 5v5s with Faker and the rest on the prowl for picks. I get a slight advantage to Rise because he's tanky. Here comes TP as well. We're going to see a big fight here.
Okay, can't cancel this one. There is that Urgot coming on in. Ogre versus Faker on the backside. It looks like Faker gets the better of that trade, and now Khan leading the chase. Oh, barely not able to land that hook with the flash. That means that the engage will end. Looking for the snipe here on Nuguri, but he is going to get away. He's super fast.
I believe it's hard to tell what the flash was for because he's going to be tucked in if it hits. So I'm not really sure what he was flashing for there, Marlon. Might have just been a brain fade, or considering just trying to ignite the local target. Still, flash is on cooldown. It's another good news story. The ultimate was unavailable there for Mada. We back away. You say no harm, no foul, but we know well in competitive play that even if you lose out on some control wards because you didn't pick up any kills in an even team fight, that could be very, very consequential. DAMWON Gaming reload once again. Infinity Edge could be a pivot point here where they have true threat on just DPSing down someone like Khan or Clid in the front line, maybe even Mada fast enough to make the team comp work here and just win with superior tankiness thanks to the Rise and the Aftershock. The IE's not there just yet. The creeping doubt is there on both sides. I don't think DAMWON Gaming or SKT like their position in this game at 25 minutes.
I believe this is the second time in a row that Canyon has gone for the Guardian Angel build on the jungle right after jungle items. So you can see, you know, we weren't lying. This is actually a build that comes out very often, even though some junglers do like to skip that from time to time.
Just as core on the Nocturne as it is on the Camille that we're seeing, like you say. Trinity Force try to be built there and too tricky. Kindle Gem, most likely is Black Cleaver because Knight's Vow is kind of a wonky item onto a Nocturne. It's possible, but you're very likely not going to get full value out of it because Nocturne swapping his life for, say, Teddy or Faker is fine. And thus you won't be alive for very long to get full value. Seeing Mada and Clid camp the brush, and how's DAMWON Gaming's Baron setups from ahead is not really something we've had to truly evaluate. And with as squishy as Rakan is after all the nerfs, he's going to have to think twice before getting too aggressive vision.
Well, he's got to be scared because not just the Nautilus, but so much pick on the side of SKT as there is on the side of DAMWON, as you were mentioning. Similar compositions in that idea.
You're watching on from home and saying, okay, how do I fully understand the position? If both teams have picked comps, it's again the sum of the ward line is the way we like to talk about it. Because anyone walks up, then you're likely to be hit by wombo combos, a CC bar that overlaps for days, and thus imminent death. And from 5v4, a Baron has started, a mistake is made, and suddenly the game is over. That is the reality of how fast things can snowball with pick comps being so prevalent. We've talked about the timer. Remember, 28 minutes felt like a while when the Rod of Ages and Archangels was finally pieced together on the side of Showmaker. 28 minutes is a minute away here, and that means this Rise can lead with his face in a way that few Rises have made work in the past 6 to 8 months. And what that means for Showmaker and how brazen an ultimate he can take is going to be fun to track.
Infernal Drake in 30 seconds means that DAMWON is already setting up for it. Nice little control ward in a position for a TP behind it, but no TP currently available for the side of Khan, who has switched to the Ignite for now. Looks like SKT might just give it up. not confident to really get on in there and challenge them. They're moving towards the Baron, actually. Let's see where they go.
Deep control ward that's probably not going to be too pivotal, but does spot Xayah doing Raptors. They know that the Infernal speed is going to be quite slow. They know Xayah's not on it, and that's going to be confirmed when she finally shows herself. She does now on the minions. SKT, like you mentioned, they're going to rush a Baron. That's just not going to happen here. But they are able to clear out the vision, and any forward vision they can put, with Faker soon to hit level 16, could be pivotal. Again, last time Faker played LeBlanc, it was the Gunblade LeBlanc. Thing you need to know about LeBlanc being reverted back to the form that Faker, of course, made his name on with that undefeated run until 2015 MSI Finals final game, is that when you hit level 16, your Mimic cooldown is so damn short. 30% CDR, probably a Transcendence being taken from Faker. That means that even in a siege scenario, LeBlanc can do so much. Pop in, QR, pop back. You don't have to wait. You don't have to stay in range to get that explosion damage. So level 16 is not quite Kassadin for the LeBlanc, but it's still pretty damn big.
We're still waiting for a big fight to occur. The last one we were sure was going to happen with the TP coming in from the Urgot. Not that time.
Oh, Hoyt, you're playing with fire here, mate.
Ooh. Well, he's got a lot of mobility. We saw the last time what happens when Mata locks on with his ultimate. Doesn't really work out up against the Rakan, but when you got everybody else in range, maybe he could make something happen.
Khan has definitely confirmed that he's grouping because you get the global warning that he's turned to ignite on the Unsealed Spellbook. That tells the team of DAMWON Gaming that Urgot's first movement is going to be towards grouping. He's actually moving back here, and Canyon is going to be seen cancelling out a ward. That does mean, of course, that Urgot will hang back, but that, if you're wondering, okay, that's a lot of inaction. What do all those words put together mean? It means that DAMWON can push up around the Baron, knowing the scenario that they're at, and knowing that the Urgot has no threat of a TP flank.
Still waiting on this one. You see the Morellos now finished here for Showmaker. He's level 17.
He is so tanky. He has 2,900 health.
Yeah.
He has the resists from the Aftershock, and he has a stopwatch. This guy does not give too many mundos about positioning, and that means a flash after Faker or Teddy is very, very possible.
He's not really going to die. I mean, there's a bit of magic resist on some of the tankier members of SKT, but it's not like they're stacking it. And so Showmaker could certainly pop off given the right fight.
A lot of pen on both sides. Remember, the Rage Blade from Teddy does give pen as well, which is the dual pen could be important.
And here's Canyon here. Oh, not quite able to make it work, but I mean, even a chunk like that you were mentioning, he's level 16, he's going to have that cooldown. Watch it just come back to life immediately. Look at his ultimate cooldown. It's basically up right away, and that means that Nocturne has to back.
It's why I've always been a big fan of LeBlanc scaling. Previously, especially when this old LeBlanc was there, it was how many kills do they get before the late game comes and you're useless. LeBlanc can do that, again, within 20 seconds, less than 20 seconds, and that is huge thing. He's going to kill Hoyt instantly.
Oh, not quite able to make it work. Nice reflexes there. Now Mata's going in. Essentially by himself and the TP. You can't cancel it. You're all alone, buddy. As he's gonna flash the wall. Can they take him out here? He gets feared by Nocturne on the back of it after flashing. And well, that was not the best communication or coordination by SKT.
Khan has never been the best TP player, and like you say, damn, are you accountable? That was the one where all of the spikes were out to kill the person that could no longer spare themselves a blemish. Stopwatch yourself, I guess, is the only way to stop you going through. With the teleport, he doesn't have one of those. DAMWON Gaming, they turn onto the Baron here. Clid is still alive. He's same level as the Nocturne.
They are bursting through this Baron. Are they going to actually stop it here? They do at about 3,000, right as the Lee Sin Q does come out.
How's this going to go? This is going to falling low and turning onto Clid.
Okay, nice kick, and oh, it's going to go over to Xayah of all people, and over the wall goes Nuguri, is able to take out Faker, who got too close to the sun. The rest of DAMWON Gaming comes in, but Teddy is going to snipe the Rakan on the backside. Can they even take him out? Surely, once Nuclear gets here, he can. Clid here does still have his stopwatch somehow, is going to get away, and Teddy, well, You're not long for this world is taken out and the streak given to Nuclear.
And the streak of wins for the Dream Team could be ending in front of us. DAMWON Gaming, after getting that pick, do turn into Baron. Bit of a fiesta around the Baron. It fell below 2,000, and that means it's up for grabs to anyone. Anyone ends up being Nuclear. They will break the base here. A lot of time was wasted, but probably not enough to stop this one as, well, this is going to be an annoying delay.
Well, they're going to pull in the Nocturne. Doesn't look like they'll... Okay, can the Lee Sin go in? Will he do it? Yes, he will, but he doesn't. Okay, there finally gets the kill, but trades his own life. Right, just Glary coming in, trying to kite down Noguri, and now Showmaker. Look at that damage he does. Faker into the back line, but not quite able to get the kill. Is gonna Zhonya's here, trying to flash for the kill, but nope. Nuclear was too quick on the backside, and Faker also loses his life.
Still picks up the kill on the back end, though, with the Ignite. Ticks down there and takes down the Xayah. I thought he QSS'd it, but it clearly did not work out that way. DAMWON Gaming, they back away. They broke the inhibitor, even though SKT had so many tools they wanted for a team fight, but ended up being used for a delay, like the stasis on the Lee Sin. Hoyt is, amusingly, trying to steal blue buff. That's pretty hard as a Rakan, but he's going to give it a go. Regardless of that, the Baron buff is taken. The Rise is Raid Boss. Who's getting the blue buff? It's Nautilus.
Yeah. Unlimited hooks.
That's all I got. Unlimited hooks.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it looks like we might have an extra game coming through. That's exciting. SKT will be challenged finally by DAMWON. It's not over yet. We've seen teams come back from behind, but Nuclear and Showmaker, alongside Noguri, are just doing insane amounts of damage.
Noguri, after dying every 2 minutes, has not died at all in game number 2. He solos down the Drake. 39 minutes 17 or so will be the respawn time. Unfortunately, we kept the camera on Noguri for too long, and he failed the dash over the wall. That is 5 stacks of Drake. Not the best, but you do have an Infernal and a Mountain mixed in there. And SKT, again, you come back to pick comps. They need to find vision. They can't get it on both an Elder Dragon spawn and a Baron spawn. And this Baron still has 50 seconds of life in it for the side of DAMWON Gaming.
Looking to push the bottom lane here is Showmaker and Noguri. The rest of SKT forced to rotate over to this side. Faker once again looking for that play. But it's just, they're staying in groups. No one is alone, and Faker can't do it alone. Looks like this should be at least one inhibitor falling. Already lost the top one. Looks like all 3 are going to be going down on the final Baron push.
All the delay tactics in the world, and still this Baron buff power play is going to be huge. To get 3 inhibitors from it, Valdez. Walking up to end the game with the low cooldowns on the harass that SKT can put out is trickier. So we're not sure if the game will end here as Baron buff about to time out as this sentence ends. Here comes the members of DAMWON Gaming. They know if they get a catch on Teddy or Faker, this game should end.
They're sticking around. No other objectives to come in here. They can slowly chip away at the turrets, see what they can do. You can see Showmaker just running at them, essentially, not scared of anything. Here we go. Nocturne ultimate going to be used, and oh, look at that damage, even onto the Urgot Khan. Can't even survive up against all 5 members, DPSing him down. That might just be the nail in the coffin. The turret basically doesn't even exist. They're going to play with their food. They want some extra kills. Teddy immediately goes down. Hoyt with the nice response timing there. Double kill over to Xayah. And we have a game number 3.
And we have the first loss for the Dream Team for SK Telecom T1, and DAMWON Gaming showing there's still a bit of swagger left in them. There's still some big moments left in them. The early game, they went for scaling items while ahead, and when the scaling items came together, it was that Baron bait where they were able to take down Khan, engineer a Baron that, look, wasn't the cleanest ever, but went the way of the team that was making the proactive move. DAMWON Gaming will force a game 3 and force SKT to pick up the pieces for the first time. Many veterans on the side of SKT. But playing from ahead, we've been able to give the big tick to SKT. This time they're truly challenged, and they can't find a miraculous comeback like they did against BBQ Olivers in game number 2. This was a more meaningful disadvantage in the BBQ series. The gold was always very, very even. Nice moments from DAMWON Gaming showing they're not just a flash in the pan, they're not just the sum of their scrims.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to touch on as well. These guys essentially proving in one game they can outplay what looks like one of the best teams in Korea. here on a big stage in the quarterfinals of the KeSPA Cup. They're not going to go down without a fight. We're not just going to have another 2-0. DAMWON is a contender for this top spot here in LCK. They're going to have a little break, go back to the drawing board, and so will we. And you guys, we're going to take a little break